On today's show, could this upcoming season be the season that Alex Ovechkin passes Wayne Gretzky? Spencer Carberry thinks so.
Your Locked On Capitals, your daily podcast on the Washington Capitals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hello and welcome into this edition of Locked On Capitals. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. As always, this podcast is free and available on all the major platforms, including the SiriusXM app and on YouTube. And I want to thank you for making this your first listen each and every day. My name is Dan Holme. I've covered the Capitals for the last 3 seasons for Locked On and various other outlets before that. I'm also the host of the weekly show called The Capitals Minutecast, available wherever you find your podcasts. You can find me on Twitter. It's at DanCaps218. You can find the show on Twitter. It's at Locked On Caps. And the best way that you can help grow the show is to subscribe to Locked On Capitals on YouTube and comment anything down below. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So in this edition of Locked On Capitals, we talk about Alex Ovechkin and the possibility of him catching the great one, Wayne Gretzky, this season. And it's an interesting stance to take, as Alex Ovechkin got off to his slowest start in his entire career last season. Can he have a complete about face and not only catch but surpass what Wayne Gretzky has done? Spencer Carberry thinks so. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We'll talk about Jakub Vrana. Yes, I have spoke about him quite a bit this week, but he has officially showed up at these informal skates. What immediately pops off the page, and what can we expect from him? And is there even the possibility that he makes this team? We'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about new threads as the possibility of the Capitals making the return of the Screamin Eagle jersey, and we'll talk about the new equipment for Logan Thompson. But just to get it going here, talking about that big question, the elephant in the room: when is Alex Ovechkin going to be able to pass Wayne Gretzky? And there's a lot of talk about it. And, you take a look at him again last year. Slow start, turned on the Jets in the second part of the season. What Alex Ovechkin are we going to see on the ice when the puck drops in the first game? A lot will be determined. And if he gets off to that slow start, it's going to be difficult. There's 2 different schools of thought. Some people think that it's possible that Alex Ovechkin could catch and pass Wayne Gretzky this season. And then there's some people that think it's going to require some sort of an extension of his contract. Again, this season is going to be a pivotal season for the Great Eight to see what trajectory he's going to be going in. Of course, I would like for him to pass Wayne Gretzky this season so we can finally put that whole issue to bed. We don't need to worry about talking about that anymore. We can just concentrate on the Capitals playing some great hockey. And the thing of it is that if the Capitals play great hockey, Alex Ovechkin catching that total, well, that will just go hand in hand. But Spencer Carberry saying that is quite a thing to say, even before practices start. But at the end of the day, wouldn't Spencer Carberry have to say that? Talking about Ovechkin's pursuit of the all-time NHL goals record, Alex Ovechkin is on the cusp of hockey history as he inches closer to breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time NHL goal record of 894. With only 42 goals standing between him and this monumental achievement, Ovechkin's 20th NHL season could be the one to etch his name in the halls of hockey greatness. And, you take a look at Alex Ovechkin, he has faced his fair share of criticism. And some of it's been recently, even last season. And for the longest time, Alex Ovechkin was ridiculed and said, you're a pretty good player, but your team, the team that you're the captain of, you can't even win a Stanley Cup. He finally got that off his back when the Capitals won it in 2018. But then he's been knocking out all these milestones. The thing of it is about Alex Ovechkin is the bar is set really high for him, just based on all the things that he's achieved. He can't, have a slow start. He can't, have a slow couple of games, or people are thinking that there is something wrong with him. But when you take a look at all he's accomplished, like I said, he could hang it up today and he could hold a lot of records. He's broke a lot of records. He could feel pretty good about his achievements. But the one thing that still eludes him is catching the great one, Wayne Gretzky. I really think it's possible, and I don't think that there's anyone, playing right now that is going to catch him anytime soon. I've heard some people speculate that possibly Austin Matthews could be that guy at some point, but then there's a lot of question about that as well. The thing of it is, I don't want Alex Ovechkin to pass Gretzky by 1 goal. I would like for him to just keep going, just really push the goal post out as far as he possibly can so he can have that thing locked up for the long term. Talking about Capitals' confidence in Ovechkin and roster upgrades, this all goes hand in hand. Alex Ovechkin spoke about that. He lacked chemistry with the centers that he played with last season, and he was able to accomplish great things with Nick Backstrom being his center for so many years. Some people would argue that Alex Ovechkin would not be the player that he is today had he not played with Nick Backstrom for those many years. So I think that Strome was a pretty good fit, but it's going to be interesting to see if Pierre-Luc Dubois is going to be that upgrade. But I think it's not even just the chemistry between the center and Alex Ovechkin. It's about not having to wear that burden, that heavy burden on your shoulders that I need to be the guy to score the lion's share of the goals. And the Capitals went out and addressed that by signing some players that ostensibly will help him in that effort. Amid speculation and anticipation, Caps coach Spencer Carberry and GM Chris Patrick expressed unwavering confidence in Ovechkin's ability to reach this milestone in the upcoming season. The Capitals have bolstered their lineup to provide Ovechkin with support he needs to make history, including acquiring talented forwards Pierre-Luc Dubois and Andrew Mangiapane, as well as skilled defensive Jakub Vrana, who we know has an offensive flair as well. And that's what we know so far. But as you take a look at it, some of the teams that are playing in the Metro, that are coming out swinging as well, as the news broke today that Rutger McGroarty will be joining the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yes, that bitter rival of the Capitals on paper got better. And why does the name Rutger McGroarty sound familiar? Some people say, is that a real name? Yes, these younger people have some unique names, I guess I'm going to go ahead and say. He was the player that was speculated to be the return for Connor McMichael going out to the Jets. As the Jets and the Capitals were kicking tires around the draft, Rutger McGroarty was unhappy playing in Winnipeg, and they were seeing if there was a dance partner in Washington. So that's what I'm talking about. The Metro Division has got markedly better, or some big moves have been made. And I think that, former GM Brian McClellan went out and he tried to plug holes. He tried to get players with a good upside. And I know you take a look at Pierre-Luc Dubois, and everyone wants to point to last season as if that was the only season he played hockey. That I think on paper he could be a good boost if Mangiapane can find his game that he had from a few years ago, and Jakub Vrana chips in as well. Not to mention the players that are looking for bigger roles from Hershey. You know who I'm talking about: Ethan Frank, Pierre Dubé. Also, you're looking to see a whole lot more from Ivan Miroshnichenko. Next here, let's talk about Ovechkin's ability and determination. The guy's got the will. I guess it wasn't necessarily as evident in the playoffs as it, kind of looked like his spirit had been broke. Like he kind of saw the writing on the wall that this team was struggling. But in any event, he is determined 9 times out of 10. Coach Carberry firmly believes in Ovechkin's capability to score 42 goals this season, citing his exceptional track record and scoring prowess. Ovechkin, known for his defying expectations throughout his career, has consistently delivered impressive goal-scoring feats, with 13 seasons of surpassing the 42-goal mark. He can do it. We know he can do it. But as he inches ever closer to 40 years old, it's going to get more difficult as the seasons go by. Despite a slightly reduced goal output in the previous season, Ovechkin's late surge demonstrated his lethal scoring ability and unwavering determination. And you saw that evident many times. You could tell that he was the guy, he was the voice on the bench leading the troops. And as I've always said, and if you are an everydayer of the show, you know I've spoke about, as Alex Ovechkin goes, so go the Capitals. So we do need Alex Ovechkin engaged from the moment go. In the first game, I want to see him as a bull in the china shop, finishing checks, scoring goals, doing what he does best. I guess maybe not as much as he used to when he was younger. As we know, if you get dinged up, you don't necessarily heal as quick, but you know what I'm talking about. A fully engaged Alex Ovechkin doing what he does best. Team strategy and Ovechkin's management of workload. The Capitals aim to alleviate the pressure on Ovechkin by diversifying their offensive threats throughout the roster. This strategic move reflects the organization's commitment to remaining competitive during Ovechkin's remaining seasons and setting the stage for the team's future success. And it's a hard thing to talk about, the post-Ovechkin era, but it's coming real close. We know he's coming up on his 20th year in the league, and it's kind of surreal to think about Alex Ovechkin not being the captain of the team, but you got to push all that to the back burner, as it is something that is coming closer and closer to the Capitals all the time. Ovechkin is mindful of managing his workload and adapting his training regimen to account for his age while remaining resolute in his pursuit of hockey immortality. So, when you take a look at his career, won a Stanley Cup with the Capitals, maybe another one, but catching Gretzky and passing Wayne Gretzky, that would be quite a feat. All right, so coming up here after the break, Jakub Vrana formally reports to these informal skates what to expect from him and where does he fit in at the end of the day. I'll discuss straight ahead. We're driven for the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work with Indeed using scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to recent Indeed surveys. So if you are involved in the hiring, in the firing, in HR, you need Indeed. And listeners to this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about it on the Locked On Capitals podcast. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. You need to hire. You need Indeed. Thank you for making Locked On Capitals your first listen of the day. For your second listen, enjoy the Locked On NHL podcast. Locked On NHL provides you with a national perspective on all things NHL each and every day, with national experts and local insight on every team in the league, available on YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, welcome back into this edition of Locked On Capitals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Talking next here about Jakub Vrana, and we know that he is going to be joining the Capitals on a professional tryout basis. And the questions, where's he going to fit in? What immediately pops off the page as I saw the video of him at MedStar Ice Complex is happiness. He exudes happiness. I think to a certain extent, he kind of has the same, intangible qualities as TJ Oshie has, that he's a positive person to be around. And that's something like, well, that's nice. I'm glad he's a nice person. But it's interesting when you are a positive person like that. oftentimes good things happen around you. As you see TJ Oshie, he's had a pretty good career. But at the end of the day, we are looking more than just a pleasant person to be around. We're hoping that he's going to be able to help in the goal scoring department. It's been a bumpy ride. He's had stints in the AHL. He's played on a couple different teams. What kind of Jakub Vrana are the Capitals getting? There is a lot at stake for him. In a lot of ways, could be his last chance playing in the NHL. Jakub Vrana's return to the Washington Capitals after facing a challenging period in his career. Jakub Vrana has returned to the Caps with determination and optimism. Vrana recently joined the Capitals' informal skates at MedStar Ice Complex, displaying a positive attitude and a strong work ethic as he prepares for the upcoming season. Drafted 13th overall by the Caps in 2014, Vrana's return to familiar surroundings has reignited his passion for the game. Still moves really well. Probably lost a bit of a step, but at one time when he played on the Capitals, he was the fastest skater on the ice. I don't think he's lost all of that, and speed is something the Capitals are looking for. As we always hear, the Capitals need to get younger and faster. Well, he helps at least impart with one of those and a little bit with both of those things, as this team is trending in a little bit in the younger direction. Talking about challenges in Vrana's journey, it has been a tough journey for him in the NHL. Well, pretty much since he got dealt out of town and went to the Red Wings. Vrana's journey back to the NHL has not been without its obstacles. Following his trade to the Red Wings at the 2021 NHL trade deadline, Vrana encountered injury setbacks and other challenges. Despite these difficulties, he has persevered and remained dedicated to reclaiming his position in the league. His stint with the AHL's Grand Rapids Griffins and subsequent trade to the St. Louis Blues presented further hurdles, but Vrana's resilience has been unwavering. That kind of goes with what I'm talking about, that positive attitude. The thing I think is that's going to be, made very apparent is that he's going to have to accept a lesser role. It's not going to be a give me. There are players that are going to have to bring it, as I've talked about in the show this week, that we're going to need to see more from Sonny Milano as well. A lot is going to be determined when camp gets underway. There is a possibility that Jakub Vrana doesn't even get a deal. I think if he does get a deal, it's going to be a two-way deal, one for the big team, one for Hershey, if he's willing to accept that. At this point of his career, I think he needs to accept what has been offered to him. Vrana's determination and outlook. Returning to the Caps provides Vrana with an opportunity to prove himself once again. Aware of the intense competition for roster spots, Vrana is ready to demonstrate his potential and make a lasting impact. That's what we want. This is not the Vrana from 2018, and I think everyone knows that. It's just, is he going to be good enough to, in a lot of ways, steal a job away from someone? Because if you take a look at the potential line combinations, I have some sketched out that I've talked about in the show. The Daily Face-Off, a lot of the Capitals beat writers, they already have their line combinations laid out. A lot of those, to be fair, were made before we heard about Vrana joining the team. But with that said, who's he going to bump out of the lineup to find a role? It's a tough thing. He might have to accept a lesser role, or one of these players that's on the team right now is really going to have to drop the ball. The Capitals' depth in the forward position means Vrana will need to deliver an exceptional performance to secure his place on the team. By showing his capabilities during training camp, Vrana aims to earn a well-deserved two-way deal and showcase his ability to contribute consistently at the highest level. In a league of what have you done for me lately, we're not going to give him a contract. The Capitals are not going to give him a contract based on former glory. They're not going to give him a contract based on good vibes. That's an action word that you hear from the young kids nowadays, but that's not the way the world works. You don't get contracts based on vibes. Anticipation and support. As Vrana embarks on this new chapter of the Caps, the fans, we eagerly anticipate his return to form and the significant contributions he can make to the team. I am pulling for Jakub Vrana. Make no mistake about it. I think it would be a good Cinderella story for this team, as this guy that was well liked by the fans, the coaches, everyone alike, that he found his way on the team that, made him rise to the top. That would be a really great story. With his talent, determination, and the support of the Capitals organization, Vrana is poised to overcome challenges and emerge as a valuable asset in this upcoming season. That is our hope. All right, so coming up here after the break, we'll talk about new threads as the Capitals talk about the return of the Screamin Eagle jersey. Is that going to be actuality? And Logan Thompson gets some new gear. We'll discuss straight ahead. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks. That makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. And that's the frustrating part here, is that when you want to go to your favorite concert, your favorite sporting event, you can't find tickets. It's tough. Game Time's 50% off Labor Day offer for Diamondbacks Dodgers, or we can talk about Washington Nationals or Capitals or any upcoming event that's near you. That's what's going to be key. Saving some money on tickets, that is always a plus. So that is what you need to do right now, is to go over to Game Time and take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Take that guesswork out of buying tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON. NHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. All right, welcome back into this edition of Locked On Capitals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It is your team. It is every day. In this final segment, we're going to talk about new threads and the Screamin Eagle jersey. It is a jersey that Alex Ovechkin likes. It is a jersey that I wanted to buy, but when I went to go buy it, out of stock. And at the time, they said they weren't going to be printing any more of those or making any more of those. So to hear that I might get another crack at getting one of those jerseys, well, that makes me rather happy. Washington Capitals' 50th anniversary and the potential return of the Screamin Eagle jerseys. The Caps are gearing up for their 50th anniversary this coming season, and there's exciting speculation about the potential return of the black version, the one that I love, Screamin Eagle jerseys. It's been hinted the team may reintroduce the black reverse retro jerseys from 22-23, which features the iconic Screamin Eagle jersey. Now, I'm going to tell you guys some facts here. If you aren't aware, I talked about this a long time ago, but the Capitals jersey, the Rock the red jerseys in particular, well, they're ranked as one of the worst jerseys in all of the NHL. I still think they look pretty sharp, but they're starting to look a bit dated. I think that they need to reintroduce what they're wearing out there. And I know that oftentimes they were wearing those, W jerseys and alternates to what they normally wear, the red jerseys, even when they're playing at home, and then playing wearing the white jerseys on the road. But I think that if they could reintroduce the Screamin Eagle as the black version, or maybe a hybrid version of, a design of the current and old one, I think that it could use to be freshened up. And I'm not talking about just as a one-off, like they're going to wear them, once or twice or three times a season. I think they should add it to heavy rotation. And I think the Capitals need to come to terms that they need to start thinking about what the next look of their jerseys is going to be. Now, I know it shouldn't be that significant. We should be more concerned about the product on the ice. But as you take a look at these jerseys, I happen to have one right here, if that isn't too surprising. We take a look at this jersey right here. You take a look at it. It's a nice jersey. This is an Alex Ovechkin jersey. It's one that I've had for many years. I still like it. It's a good look, but it could use an update. Everything needs a tweak. It needs an upgrade. And there are the purists out there that like vintage jerseys, and I get that. You take a look at the Red Wings, for example. Even some of those jerseys have been tweaked, or the Calgary Flames, that kind of thing. But as far as the Capitals are concerned, I definitely think that they should at least put some attention into replacing the jersey that they wear at home 9 times out of 10. I really think it is about time. A recent Instagram activity has fueled the rumors with a post from the account 95 Take and Give, showcasing a TJ Oshie's Screamin Eagle jersey for sale, complete with Fanatics premium branding. This has sparked genuine excitement among fans as the legitimacy of the jerseys in the post seems to be verified. And there was a lot of negativity about the Capitals and the NHL making the switch over to Fanatics. People are like, has the NHL really come to this? You take a look at other professional sports, it's Nike, it's Adidas, it's Reebok, those kind of things, that the Capitals, the NHL has gone all the way down to Fanatics. Wow, I guess where the NHL sees where they rank on the pecking order. But to be clear here with Fanatics, the jerseys that you get, I have a couple Fanatics jerseys that I got. Well, to be honest with you, it was a player that just got traded. They're a bit cheaper. Those aren't the jerseys that the players are going to be wearing on the ice. It is still going to be the top quality jerseys. It's not going to be the ones that they feel like they need to just press out quickly because there's a new player that signed. So there has been assuredness from Fanatics that the jerseys for the NHL are going to be top quality. I guess I need to see it to believe it, but that is the word anyway. Notably, the emergence of this branded merchandise hints at a potential revival of the black Screamin Eagle jersey, especially considering the teams were asked to refrain from reintroducing new designs at Fanatics as they take over the league's official jersey provider from Adidas. If the Capitals do decide to bring back these beloved jerseys, it would be undoubtedly well received. By who in particular? Well, by me in particular, given the positive response from both fans and critics when they were revealed. A good look, a bit of a tip of the hat to the past and the present. Right away, I would say I would have no problem with the Capitals replacing the red jerseys with those jerseys, the black Screamin Eagle. Hit me up on Twitter or YouTube. Let me know your thoughts. Or if it's not that, what would you like to see the Capitals change? Maybe send me some renderings. As long as they're not copywritten, I want to see if there's any renderings that you've really seen that think jump off the page. And the big thing here is Alex Ovechkin's strong endorsement adds to the excitement as the prolific forward expressed his desire to continue wearing the black Screamin Eagle jersey. Ovechkin's remarkable performance while sporting this jersey further emphasizes its significance, with memorable achievements such as surpassing Gordie Howe on the NHL's all-time goals list during a game against the Winnipeg Jets in December of 2022. So it shouldn't come to that. Your team shouldn't be defined by the jersey that they wear, but it's important. Let's be clear here. There's a lot of people that wear baseball hats of teams that maybe they're not even fans of just because they look nice. See the New York Yankees, the Dodgers, or think about vintage NHL jerseys like the Patriots, the Broncos, those kind of things. So there is something about vintage. I get that. I just think the Capitals could freshen it up a little bit. Being that we're talking about threads and gears, let's talk about Logan Thompson's new Capitals gear and the recent trade. If you need a refresher, Logan Thompson, well, he made quite the impression at the informal skate with his newly designed Capitals pads, blocker, and catching glove. The gear which he wore at MedStar Capitals Iceplex, showcasing a stunning DC monument inspired mask painted by artist Dave Freed. Thompson's Bauer pads boast a striking design featuring a navy blue diagonal stripe adorned with white stars against a backdrop of red and white. These bold colors carry over to this catching glove, blocker, and the Bauer Vapor Hyperlight goalie stick, which is predominantly white with accents of red and navy. pretty sharp. Take a look at the Capitals' official Twitter feed. It is a good look. Thompson, that 27-year-old netminder, recently made the switch to this eye-catching gear after being acquired by the Capitals in a trade with the Golden Knights. This move was made during the 2024 NHL draft, with the Capitals giving up 2 third-round picks in return. The gear swap also marked a departure from his previous Golden Knights mask and pads. Well, as it would, because if he was wearing Golden Knights colors and gear on the Capitals, well, that would clash, shall we say. Thompson's impressive track record includes playing 46 games for Vegas in 23-24, where he achieved a 25, 14, and 5 record, along with a 2.70 goals against average and a 908 save percentage and 1 shutout. With 1 year left on his contract, the netminder is set to earn $766,667. So some bargain basement shopping, some new threads for Logan Thompson, some potential new threads for Capitals players and us fans, because at the end of the day, it's about that. The fans going out, spending their hard-earned money for the jerseys for the team that they love. Again, I would absolutely love the black Screamin Eagle jersey. I wanted it. It was like Black Friday, one of those things. I went on my phone, clicked on it. Sorry, it's unavailable in your size. No, I was quite upset, to be honest with you. But hopefully I have a chance at redemption. I just need to strike while the iron's hot and not hope that there's going to be some red hot sale, as I'm often prone to doing. Listen, I want to thank you once again for joining me on this edition of Locked On Capitals and making it your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On NHL podcast, where the season never ends, providing national expertise with a local perspective. You can find the link to Locked On NHL in the description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me on this edition of Locked On Capitals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Dan Holme, and I'll talk to you again next time.